So I just read this thing in like The Magic of Thinking Big, which is that they were talking about how you should use action to get rid of your fear. So something that I'm afraid of, I'm afraid that technology is going to advance so fast that I'm not going to be able to have any use of doing web development, and it's just a waste of my time to be studying it. So, what action can I take to go against this? I mean, I could go back to school for engineering, but there are risks for that as well. It's just like it costs a lot of money, it's going to cost a lot of my time. Um, I could research more on the internet about new technologies that are coming out. I could use and learn these technologies that web developer technologies that people are using, and try to sort of I could use them as a developer myself instead of being afraid of them. Maybe they'll make my life easier, and maybe there's tools that I can write my own code with. And why do I need to write code anyway? I mean, if there's an easier way to do this thing, and if I really want to do it, why do I want to do it? I want to do it because I could make a lot of money doing it, and because it seems to be fun. But that is sort of the bottom reason that I started getting into coding, was because I could do a technical, well-paying job that would give me freedom to do other stuff. Now, I mean, I like technical stuff. I think it's fun and it's interesting. And I was just listening to this podcast today with Adam Savage on there from Mythbusters, and he was talking about creating stuff. And I think creating stuff is also something that I'm really interested in. I like software, building things like construction. I like hardware. I mean, the idea of it, I haven't messed around with a lot of like electronic hardware, things like that, but I think making, software and hardware work together sounds like something really awesome to do. Building robots, stuff like that. And I mean, yeah, I love construction. I like the building process and seeing things change. That's why I wanted to be a civil engineer. I mean, it does still sound like a really great job. It's something that I sort of have in the back of my mind, that I could just my idea with engineering is that I wanted to just be working on the job site, watching projects get built, and taking a part in building those projects. That was what drew me into it. It was the idea of being able to work on site was what drew me into it, really. That was like the main thing. And that I like construction. Because I always wanted to do something that was outdoors, and this was like the closest I could come to that. And funny enough, I ended up now on this path of web development, which is like totally in front of a computer screen, which is something I thought I never would like, but I mean, turns out to be not so bad. It turns out to be pretty fun. But I don't know why I'm so scared that I feel like I've gotten this idea from people that if I don't go to school, I'm just gonna fail at life and I'm gonna suffer forever, and I'm never gonna make it. As if I have this one opportunity that's about to pass me by, and I'll never get it back. And I get that feeling when I talk to people, but I don't think it's true. I don't know why people keep saying stupid shit like this. Andrew said that life comes at you fast and things can happen where you won't have time to go to school anymore, but I don't know. From what I've heard from people, there's never really a good excuse that I've gotten. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to take out a loan. Anybody can take a loan out to go to school if that's what you want to do. they're just people choose not to go to school and then act like it was like an opportunity that passed you by. Like everybody has the fucking opportunity. It's the same for everybody. Doesn't matter. When you get older, it's easier to go to school because you're better at just focusing. It's hard to decide what I would be happy doing. I guess working as an intern for Sean helped me get an insight into that. Maybe doing more sort of engineering intern work would be helpful for doing that. Maybe doing a job like trying to get an internship at NASA would be a good idea for going towards a software, hardware, collaboration engineering job. Andrew was saying that these jobs are really math heavy, and then there's this guy on YouTube, Engineered Truth. I forget his name, but he was saying that engineering is not in that much demand, especially not compared to tech jobs. And he brought out some numbers like that. A lot more engineers are graduating than jobs are opening for them. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm scared that I'm wasting time. That's what I've always been scared of, is that I'm wasting time. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not happy about the process, but I feel like the process is fun too. I want the process to be going towards an end goal, and I want to correct myself if I'm not taking the right path. And I guess that's what I've been doing this whole time. I mean, out of a desire to not waste time, I've been ditching things that I've started to go towards and realized that there are reasons not to do them, but in the attempt to find something that I really do would be a worthwhile investment on my time and my money and my opportunity cost. What do I want to spend the rest of my life doing? I don't know. I'm interested in, the idea of building business, but I also maybe would just like to be an employee. I think engineering would be a fun job to do. And I hate to just say it because I'm, I don't want to go back to that after starting this other thing now. I feel like I've just been going back and forth my whole life, and it's always been bothering me, even though, I feel like I've always made the right choice, and I've always thought about it carefully. So maybe it's like Gary Vee says, and that the reason is that I'm afraid of what other people think of me. But I don't really think that either, actually. I don't think I've made these choices based on what other people think. I've just been making these choices because I've been trying to find something that I really like to do. I like to do engineering, but I also like doing coding. Maybe I like it even more. It's just like it's hard to know what the future's gonna hold. I started this video to ask about what I could do to help my fear. I think just to keep learning about the technologies, learning about the new things that are going on, learning about what it would be like to be an engineer versus what it would be like to be a web developer would be helpful. Another thing I wanted with web development was to be able to work freelance and travel and work at festivals. It's something I could do as a web dev. It's still a good idea. So, there's just a lot of stuff going on to figure out. And something else that Gary Vee said this week that stuck in my head was that life is, we're going to live so long. We could live till we're 130 the way modern medicine is going. So, even if you're 30 years old, you're just getting started. And a lot of people say that to me, that I'm so young at 25. And, a lot of people tell me that I'm doing good and I'm making the right choices and I'm searching well. Like Sean said that. But, I talk to people like Andrew and Lutz and other people who, promote school. And it just worries me because they make me feel like I'm fucking up super bad. But I can, if I think, dig deeper beneath what they're talking about, like Lutz is a teacher. She's probably never even worked as an engineer and doesn't know what it's like to do that work. And Andrew dropped out of engineering school to do exactly what I want to do and says that he doesn't regret it. So Gary Vee said, you should take your own opinion above everybody else's. And I think I agree with that because you know yourself better than anybody else does. So to help me overcome my fear, I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to work as a web developer. Maybe in the future I'll continue towards the engineering path. Maybe I'll take more courses in college about engineering. Maybe I'll read books on it, engineering. Maybe I'll work in construction. Maybe it's the construction projects and being on site like a project manager that is something I would like more than being an engineer. After all, engineers a lot of them seem to only do some site visits sometimes, civil engineers, so maybe a PM would be something that I'd be more interested in. But at this point in my life, I think my goal of web development, it's where I want to go right now, and it's the path that I'm going to continue to take until I've completed it. And that's it. Keep reading books. Keep learning from people. Keep listening to the internet. And I'm going to listen to my own intuition about all the information I take in about these different things. And the action part is working and reading, learning, staying on top of stuff. Another thing that's good about not being in school is being able to have time to read and to try and buy and sell things now, like I'm trying to do, and to do car mechanics if I need to, and read books, learn more about life, get some work experience, learn from work experience. It's pissing me off thinking about, all the people that tell me it's stupid, or it's not even that many people. You just get this feeling. I get this feeling like, I'm a dumbass because I didn't go back to school and I'm going to fail. And I'm not worried about people judging me. I'm just worried about the failure and the suffering. But I mean, what is there to be afraid of, really? I mean, I've lived in my car. And you can make a fine living doing just that. I don't know what there is to be afraid of. But I'm still afraid all the time. I do take a lot of action. I think if I actually got a job, would the fear go away then, or would it just continue because I don't know when the job's going to go away? I guess somehow you can just cultivate the feeling that you can handle the situations as they come, which I feel like I can, but I'm still afraid. So, I don't know. Keep taking action. I'll think about it.